cracker day again. We should mention the beautiful people watching this. We had a chat yesterday, and then technology affected us, and so we said we'd use yesterday as a rehearsal to talk about some of the buildings around here. I think firstly we should mention this lovely
the
building.
Old auction rooms. They're the old Harrison auction rooms.
Right.
And when I was a young lad, and the village used to be packed when the occasion, maybe once, 2 times, 3 times a year, the auctions were on.
Right.
Great antiques.
Yeah.
There's great stuff in it back in the 60s, into the 70s.
I remember genuinely as a teenager calling in because I was fascinated, and not being familiar too much, even though I should have known with auctions. I waved to a friend of mine. I ended up bidding on some jackets, and I got them. No choice but to pay for
My
them.
mother and a few people from the village used to pick up odds and ends in it. You know, it was handy enough.
Is that where they got you, or no?
The village would have been packed, and here, that's a part of the old auction room as well.
Right, across the road.
No, that's an old sexton's house.
Right,
where he looked after the church over the years. And here we have the old school.
Oh yeah, well I'd seen that the old schoolhouse. Yeah. But just in regard to the auction room, we should mention the fact that it was chosen as a recording studio at least 6 months, maybe a little bit more.
Tori Amos was it.
I wasn't a big fan. She's a sort of a would-be Kate Bush, and every time I passed in my beautiful Beetle, I beat the horn a lot.
She was out. She used to walk. I met her several times around the village, and then she used to go up to the horse for a drink. I think they were there nearly a year or maybe more at the time. She was recording. This was the studios.
Well, they did a mobile studio in there. As often happens, they'll bring a studio set up into like an old building just to kind of get the ambience and get the sense
and
of
the touch of the village. And down here we had your man out of Westlife,
Brian McFadden. And he's beautiful, but now
his wife
somewhat disbanded in her head.
I met her up here just one day walking.
I'm pretty sure that was a big turning point in her life. I think she was pretty straight and narrow. She was doing well with Atomic Kitten.
Maybe she.
And then I think meeting Shay Clear just led to being Iceland's spokesperson.
Yeah, she might have got. I met her up here one day walking.
Right.
But as I say, that's the old sexton's house. Looked after the church.
Now, that wouldn't still be an old. It's not used by the church.
No, I think it's privately owned now. Right. I think the church or the.
It's a beautiful.
Sold it.
Right. There is a lot of kind of in Delgany and Greystones and all that. There's a lot of visitors, like from Oliver Cromwell to Sean Connery. We tend to attract a lot of people.
Connery was in the village for 2 years. He had a house out the back road.
The Black Line Road, the Chapel Road.
About 30 years ago.
Right.
And he used to order his meat in Farley's Butchers.
Right.
I never met him myself, but he was around, and people used to play golf with a local gentleman. He was a great golfer, Connolly.
He loves to golf, right?
Yeah, and also the chap.
In the early 70s. I think he did a film with John Boorman, Zardov, in 72, 73. Something very bizarro kind of sci-fi, but shot in the Wicklow Hills. So sci-fi and a kind of Glebe.
Zardos.
There you go.
And
we don't offend the gods.
Your man out of what you call him was here. I used to meet him on the bike. Hello.
Oh, right.
He used to play Hair Flick. He used to be here, and he used to cycle around the village with his child on the bicycle.
Nice.
I met him several times. Nice chap.
Yeah. And
Hair Flick.
Did you? I remember talking to you before about this Connery film. Were you part of it? You were working on it?
I done a week or two at the outset with a chap called David Toner.
Of course, from Blackberry Lane.
We just got a week's work in it, bringing the sets to it, etc.
Okay, all right.
But there was a part in the film where Connery walks into the triangular shape. At the time, it was made of glass. It was on a lawn, and in the film you'll see Connery just walking through this pyramid.
Optical illusion kind of
yes,
thing,
and then at that time, just one section of it was just taken out.
Right.
So as the camera observes it, you just see him walking into it, and he disappears. But he just walks in through the where there's no glass.
Nice.
So an optical illusion, as you say.
Sweet.
Yeah, as I say, this was the studio for a while.
Right. And I think we'll take a look at the Glebe too, because I know we've done on the guide now. We did a little.
Well, it's the start of the Delgany Heritage Trail.
We'll take a cross now where there's no traffic. You ready, Max? We cross.
Popular.
Cross, Max. Cross.
But you want to be careful when you're coming.
Cross, quick. No, it is a lovely walk, and it's.
That's the start of the trail now.
Now, what was you were telling me before that you had sort of been involved in basically resurrecting this.
Well, the council took over I'd say about 30 years ago or 25.
Right.
And all mass pats, etc., were taken into account to be analysed and to be refurbished, you know.
Right.
So they brought them to life. There
I'll
was a
let you
lot
go
of work
forward
done
there.
on this.
Well, you were here for how long?
Well, we built
Year or two?
bridges. Yeah, we've come a lot of the chaps that were working on the scheme and then into Foss
Right.
worked on it. We put steps in. And a
Because
lot.
it would have been just literally a dirt track and overgrown, of
Well,
course.
it was impassable, really.
Right. Right.
And then, as I say, the council and that, they took a big interest in all the mass pats and all these places.
Fair play, they get some things right because it is a
Well,
kind
it's
of
a lovely
great addition
little
to
walk,
the town.
actually. It's private. It's kind of unique.
Well, yeah, but it's a right of way. Like it's not actually
And you
private.
want to be fit. You want to be fit. I tell you.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's not exactly, the
Well, a
Sugarloaf.
lot of-
It
lot
would
of-
take you 10 minutes to walk up, the whole distance. It's not like
As you can see,
shouldn't be too much of a
it's
challenge.
called Jacob's ladder as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a term from the Bible.
I know that, and it's used kind of quite a lot. I would think from its early days it would have probably been the Glebe would have been the more likely.
Well, local
Name for it.
people, and residents of the village will always say the Glebe because people
Right.
have all these terminologies and where they the octagon, the laurel walk up back
Now,
of my
we should
house.
mention that down at the bottom here is there's a development of houses. When you and I were young lads, this was
All
the
fields.
old cliche of this was all fields.
Yeah.
But there's quite some beautiful houses down here too.
Yeah.
When I took a walk with you recently, I was surprised to see one of those beautiful houses has been vacant for how long? There's one of the beautiful houses down in this area, which is a mansion, like an Elvis Presley kind of Graceland size mansion.
There's several houses being put in there over the years, and
Right.
it's nice.
But one's vacant, which kind of surprised me.
Vacant for quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. You would think just in an area like this.
Paul, it's for sale now.
Oh right. Well,
Selling
I see
it now.
the sign said letting, so I
Oh,
presume.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so somebody's trying to let it out.
Yeah.
But beautiful. I just assumed that
It's
given
quaint.
the love of this area, beautiful
There's
morning by the way too.
quite a lot of people still use this residence. They take a
The
shortcut.
Oh damn right, of course, yeah. No, but
People,
sure,
people coming from Kilcool and people coming from
yeah, people
Kilquade
walking.
area.
Yeah.
And then Delgany people would have used it. But it was impassable there about 30 years ago.
Right.
This was impassable.
Yeah.
But it was still called the Glebe, and it was an old mass path.
Right. And where would you think? How far do you think the path went? Do you think it went over to Kilquade or to all the way to Kilcool? I know there's a mass path.
Yeah, well,
that
I
connects
think it
Drummond Lane
went
to
past
Kilcool
where
and-
Michael Hanley's, and then there's a laneway after that
Right.
that brought you out to Kilquade Church.
Right.
So all these places over the years were hidden.
Yeah.
They were known to the old people
Yeah.
who would have used them in the old days, you know.
Right.
But then the council and that and the authorities and historical point of view, they took an interest in it. So they
Let me guess, they
rejuvenated. They
I think we
rejuvenated.
are repeating ourselves here.
And
yeah.
here's
I think
the
that is
bridges.
conversation
There's
from
nice
earlier, yeah.
bridges we built.
Nice. Yes.
I done some work on this. That must be 25
Now
years.
you're quite a notoriously lazy person. How much work did you do you think?
Oh, well,
Was there a lot of
quite-
leaning?
There was a lot of stonework.
Stonework.
Chap called
Stoned or
Murphy.
stone? What did you say? Stoned work?
Stone.
Stone. All right. Stoned. All
There
right.
was quite a lot of work in it because it
Well, I
quite-
think it was fairly stone. That was supposed to be a flat bridge, but look what you ended up with.
Yeah, we
How
done
stoned
that.
were you when you
Well,
did the bridge?
we kept it in the country style, you know.
Ah, right.
We kind of and another bridge down here.
Oh yeah.
There was quite a lot of people worked on it, and
Sure.
different chaps came and gone.
Now this will be the river, of course, is the continuation of the Tree Trout River.
That comes from the Sugarloaf. That's the Tree
Right.
Trout River.
Yeah.
And
Now we should advise people. we
in
do
the
have
winter, it's quite impassable now. There's a lot of water runs through there.
Is impassable? Is that the new word? Did you learn impassable last night? Did you see that in the dictionary or something? Did it come up on the radio?
It's
You're loving that word today now.
impossible.
I'd say now if you're sitting on the old John and suddenly this is impassable.
Impassable.
Are you not saying impossible? Just
And
with
here's
an
another
accent?
bridge we built.
Yeah. So we should advise people, that this is. Well, we have it up on the guide already that you can basically walk from Delgany village right up
It's a
here and then
shortcut,
head up
really.
to Blackberry Lane and head over to. You can end up at one side of the Octagon
And
Wood
then you can
head
go
off
up, and the trail actually leads, and then you go up a side lane
Blackberry
called
Lane, what they call the
Blackberry
Blind Lane. Well,
the Blind Lane
into the
and Blackberry Lane,
and then that forks back to Delgany or up onto basically the N11, but where you can enter into the Octagon Wood. So it's a nice kind of a stretch of a walk if you feel like getting out. I know Max knows it well.
It's a couple of miles.
You know that walk well, Max, don't you?
It's a couple of miles walk.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to do more than a mile in a day, but you could sort of bring a tent with you and just camp every now and again.
Camp out.
Yeah, that would be
And
it.
here we have another nice view of it this morning with the sunrise.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Yeah. Well, I would think now that the work that you did you do any other? I know you worked in the graveyard.
Some of the stone work, and there was a chap called Murphy.
Murphy. Oh, I know Murphy. Murphy's
no,
famous.
he was a gentleman from
chap
Dublin.
Called Murphy.
And he lived in Dublin. He was quite a famous boxer.
Is he a friend of John Smith?
Well, he was quite a famous boxer, I think, Murphy.
Oh, right, okay.
But he done a lot of the stone work, and I helped him here.
Ah, great.
That must be 25 years ago now.
Well, yeah, you were saying about 30 when it was that they.
And there's some residents still use it, you know, that live in the little cottages out the back there, you know.
I do admire the fact that this was kind of was recognised as being a beautiful addition, because you know it's quite easy to let these things overgrow, and I know there's been trouble with the mass path leading over from like Drummond Lane over that area, the other end of Blackberry Lane, just trying to get that cleared and open still, because as time goes by, you know, it's neighbouring private property, and people try to just block it up. They don't want people walking through.
Well, I think that's why the reason why the authorities said we'll keep these open just for access and.
Sure.
For people to move, because
not only a bit of good history about the area, but also it's just great walks. It's just great.
It's
to have
lovely.
It's
lovely. But as I say, you want your fitness to go up the Jacob's ladder. You know what I mean? It's famous.
I'll have to carry you up one day, I think.
Ah no, I'm all right.
I can meet you back at the top in about 3 hours.
We'll have a run up, Paul. We'll run up it. We'll jog.
We should give a little tease now. Next week we're hoping to. We had done the buildings last time we met up, and we're going to continue with just to look into the Wicklow Arms and just sort of see a little bit of that, and also the post office. It used to be a different entrance, and just to get a little bit of that history and around. We'll see now if there's much to be said. We did Stylebomb, but the Delgany, it was sort of like Stylebomb was the original coach house, and then Delgany kind of took over as the building.
Well, when I was young back in the 60s, the people called Sweeney's had that.
Right.
They were sisters.
Okay.
And they ran a hotel. And it was quite famous and quite popular.
Right.
And a lot of locals.
Well,
and they came, and then in later years they moved to Greystones, to the harbour to live.
Okay. Well, as I said, we'll kind of do that next week. We'll try to keep keep a little bit of the do a little bit of research and just find out.
And then
you
had the Wicklow Arms, of course, as well.
Yeah, what we're going to do now, you see, what I just said was we're going to talk about this next week, and now you're telling them all the dirt.
No, but we get ready for it. We get